I want to be able to take care of my own. I'm not really that concerned about this war. I mean, yeah, I don't want taxation and all that stuff, but this is my space. So we're militia. We're farmers. We're everyday workers. We've got games. You know, this is what we did. I'm teaching people about writing because it's cool. So you can see I've got a couple of different things here. I've been working on making quills.
Let's see here.
Not the easiest process in the world.
All right.
But that is working on learning how to make quills. I've got slate here, which is what kids would have learned on, which is, you've seen like Little House on the Prairie, things like that. They used the same things then as they did during the Revolution. This, we call this a crayon. It's not, it's kind of
that's what we use at work. It's soapstone, yes?
Right. Okay. And it creates the same thing we would have with chalk on a chalkboard. So we use that for learning. Great for kids. You can wipe it off. We use it over and over again. We actually had technology back in the day. Mechanical pencil. Mechanical pencil, yeah.
That's the lead?
That is the lead. We called it lead because we weren't very smart. We found this material, really soft, leaves good marks on things. Well, we knew a metal that did that, and we called it lead. So we figured this must be the same stuff. Exactly, it's graphite.
It's graphite?
But we call it lead. A lot of pencils of the day would actually just be wrapped with fabric. So you've got a fabric holder for the lead, and then you use that. But I'm a little fancy, I'm a writer.
That's pretty cool.
I got a handy one.
So how many of your militia colleagues would have been able to use that?
More than you would think. There were a lot more writers and readers than it was very important for that time because that's how we learned about.
We're in Kingston, New York, which is the first capital of New York State. And the first Ulster militia's down here with a little thing going on.
A lot of people would come and they'd leave their mark. Instead of signing, they put an X or some sort of mark on the paper.
Here's Finnegan. And their farmers market's going on too. And there's the courthouse up there.
Quills were, generally speaking, over here, they were brought and made from turkey feathers. In England, it was goose. There were tons of goose over there, or tons of turkeys over here. They both have very similar qualities in their flight feathers. We use the last 5 feathers, and those are the flight feathers. They're the bigger ones. They're a little bit more sturdy, and they've got a little bit more space for working the carving. You can see this is kind of small. It's harder to really get that fine tip on it. So we would use the bigger flight feathers for that. You make 3 cuts. You have a specific knife. Have you ever heard of a thing called a pen knife? You know what they're actually made for?
Making pens.
Making pens, that's it. Huh. That was all it was meant for. This is not a pen knife. This is what we might today call a pen knife though. Small, simple blade.
Is that old?
It's old. It's old representing.
Okay.
It is relatively new. This one is made in Pakistan, but it's a replica.
Okay.
So this is it's similar enough. The thing about a pen knife is it would be solid. It wouldn't bend. It's not folding, it's a fixed blade. It would also be maybe 1 inch to 2 long at the most. It has a flat back, a square back, and that, I don't know if you saw me when you were coming up, but I use that to clean off this membrane that's on here. So it's waterproof, it's part of the way the bird's flight feathers work. You clean that off, then you get some sand and you get it really, really hot. About 200, 300 degrees. Stick it in the sand, let the sand cool down, and it hardens the tube. So now this previously brittle feather tube is now a lot easier to cut and shape. If you know what you do,
like your
which
shoes.
I still don't. So that's how you make the quills. 3 cuts. One that way, one this way, one that way. That's it. Very simple. But it was quite a bit of work to do. It was somebody's job. They made quills, they had paper, and they had ink. They didn't have an awful lot of other things. They just had those basic writing implements. Over here I've got some inks and some laid paper. All of my utensils are here to keep it down because of the wind. The paper is called laid paper. It's not the same as we have today. It's not necessarily made from the same composite. There's fiber in this. There's plant fiber. So the plant fiber is laid, pressed down, and that's where the term laid paper. We use different types of ink. This is called Black India ink, and it comes from India. It was a very, very common ink at the time. Lasted well. It goes on things and it doesn't come off. So you're gonna get ink on you if you use it, and it will not. It will not come off. I also have my own personal supply of ink. This is how I carry my ink when I'm out on the road with the militia. It comes in this tiny little envelope. And you wonder, how do you write with ink in an envelope? Well, my ink
Powdered.
is powdered. Now this would be things like, this could be made from iron gall, which is a growth on a tree, on trees that when ground up is very dark and can be mixed with water to make this ink. I use black walnuts. They fall from a tree nearby my house, and I pick them up as they've started to get a little nasty.
We have black walnuts, yeah.
So you take, you know, the green shell
Yeah.
of it. It starts to go brown,
Nasty.
starts to get nasty. You take that, you stick it in some water, and you boil it for hours. And you make a sepia-toned ink out of that. So I can make my own sepia-toned ink just like that. And
Ready?
that's how they did it back in those days too.
You want to say or
So
no?
this is a little bit of everything I've got. When I go out
All right.
myself, instead of carrying an inkwell, I carry an ink pot.
That's cool.
Much easier, just pour it in, mix some water, use it,
All right.
toss out whatever.
Thank you. We're gonna walk on. Thank you.
So didn't waste an awful lot. Didn't have to worry about carrying something last.
All right.
Oh
It's the shoemaker. Gonna check out the shoemaker.
Clog maker. We're making clog.
Yeah. When we went to Holland, we got clogs made for us.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. That's his vice, right?
Yeah, this is the primitive vice that they use traditionally. So
Look at that.
that's the challenge, is to get everything to stay in one place.
Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. His father does blacksmithing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Would that have been made by a blacksmith, those kind of tools?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, look at the mallets.
I have many different ones for different purposes. I have a drill one that's kind of cool.
Nice.
This one helps to get holes started if you're having a difficulty getting through. And this wood has proven to be tougher than I anticipated it was going to be.
Yeah, what kind of wood is that?
This is catalpa.
Okay. We have some of those trees on our property. We don't like them.
Oh, would you like to get rid of any?
Maybe.
You can call me.
Really?
Sure. Because if I end up liking the wood, then I might continue to use it.
Huh. We got those out back, Finn.
Oh my god.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
I like your...
Like sometime.
Yep, yeah, they might hurt your feet. I like your hatchets, or those axes.
Yep, those are some felling axes there.
You don't have a tissue, do you?
This is my side axe that I use to trim up the wood.
You can use this to blow your nose.
Hard to get everything the way I like it here when I'm moving around. So this is kind of like the beginning step after I split it out from a log. There's a log there.
Ah, that's okay.
And then
Neat.
trying to figure out what size I want to make my shoe at. I cut
Neat.
this at a length that would be appropriate for a shoe that would fit me.
Okay.
So
Neat. Look at his shoes, Finn. Those are pretty cool.
you got to have a piece that's longer than what you want to end up with,
Yeah.
because you're going to be trimming it out a lot.
I like your rifle. Is that a rifle?
Yeah, that's my musket. This is the standard musket from the 18th century that the British had. It's the Brown Bess.
Is that the ones that shoot the little balls? Is a
Yep,
musket?
Musket balls, yep. They were using lead balls.
Flintlock?
It's called flintlock.
Nice. Let's see that. Look at that, Finn. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Wow.
So-
All right, let's see here. Check that out, buddy.
So what this is, it has a, after you load your barrel with your stuff, your powder and your ball,
Your shot.
you would put a little powder in the pan here, okay? Got a little hole there,
I'm sorry.
and that
pretty cool.
hole would go into the barrel, so you'd light your powder here, and that would ignite the inside, the stuff on the inside. Now I don't have anything in here right now, so I cock it back, it creates my spark.
Oh, there's a piece of flint right there, a flint rock.
Flint, yep. So it's actual a flint rock or a flint stone, and the flint makes the spark. When it hits steel, it makes a spark.
Yeah, and then it
And
hits
that
the
was a
powder.
common way to start fires too. If you wanted to start a campfire like we have over here, you would have a piece of flint and a piece of steel,
Okay.
which I have a set of that to make with fires with. So that's how this would work.
And when it shoots, does a bunch of stuff come out or just one thing come out?
Hopefully just one.
Okay.
One ball. That's it.
Okay. All right. For
Just
some
start-
reason, I was thinking it was like had an end where it sprays a bunch of stuff.
You're thinking of shot.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of.
Okay, now if I were to go bird hunting, I would use loose shot in my wad instead of a lead ball
Okay, because it'll.
because it was spread out.
Okay.
But obviously, if I'm hunting a deer or if I'm in military service, I would use a standard lead ball that would be appropriate for the size of my barrel.
Okay.
And so this is a replica of a Brown Bess from the 1750s that was used all the way through the Revolutionary War period.
That's pretty neat.
Okay, so we're part of the Ulster Militia, and so we represent that period of time when we're out doing stuff. This is kind of a new craft for me.
The woodworking, the
As
shoes.
well, the shoe carving.
Yeah. That's pretty neat. I really like the tools. I like how that one tool, you've got it down so it kind of pivots.
Yeah, this is a.
It's like a well, not a rasper.
This is
shaver.
what the English would call a stock knife. Okay, and a stock knife just shapes things.
That's pretty
For
neat.
instance, I still have to shape my heel a little bit on this one. And my wood has to be, the key with a lot of my woodworking here, particularly for clogs, is when you're making them, they have to be fresh, soaking wet wood.
Okay, so it's softer.
So it's softer to work, yeah. Making wooden spoons. Making wooden shoes? That's right.
making some
I
shoes.
usually make wooden spoons, right? Yeah. Yep, he knows, he's seen
He's seen you before. You seen him, huh? With the spoons? He's making shoes today.
Yep, here's a spoon that I made during
Ooh.
COVID. How do you like that one? Oh,